Welcome to Advisor Talk with Frank LaRosa. Brought to you by Elite Consulting Partners, it's the only podcast offering unfiltered guidance and direct advice for all things concerning financial advisors, RIAs, and the practitioners in the wealth management business. Learn more and subscribe today at eliteconsultingpartners.com/podcast. And now, here's your host, Frank LaRosa.
Hey everybody, welcome to Advisor Talk with Frank LaRosa. I am your host, Frank LaRosa. This is the Behind the Wheel edition. As I'm headed to an appointment to meet with a large team, one of the things that we're going to be talking about with this team is what it's going to be like to run their own business and be independent. And part of that is going to be centered around leadership and their leadership responsibilities. So today I wanted to just talk about some leadership lessons that I've learned over the years, and some leadership lessons that are mistakes that I've learned, and I wanted to share with you as you're thinking about building your own business. You're moving from a wirehouse firm or W-2 firm, doesn't have to be wirehouse, and you have a staff and you are going to try to grow. I was also having a conversation with someone today about this very topic, so that's why it's timely. But one of the things that I always struggle with as a leader is, when do you move on from employees? Hiring employees is great. Having great employees is what makes your business go. And as a leader, you're trying to build a culture. You're trying to give people an opportunity and a purpose to thrive at your organization. And one of the things that you will come across over time is those situations where you have somebody in the organization that maybe isn't the right fit anymore. I was watching a video with Steve Harvey, who's really great motivational speaker and district comedian and a Family Feud host. Anyway, he used the expression about a rocket, and a rocket has boosters, and the boosters at some point, when they hit a certain elevation, the boosters fly off, and that's because they're not meant to go any higher, but what they're meant to do is push the rocket to the next level. And it's sort of like with employees, that sometimes you have people that grow with you and they're there at certain stages, but they're not meant to go to the next stage. They might not have the capacity to go to the next stage. And as a leader, sometimes it's hard to understand that and accept that. And you end up creating more strife and aggravation and stress and anxiety in trying to get somebody to grow to that next level when they just simply don't have the capacity. And it will ultimately end up hurting your organization by keeping that person around, even though you might like them, respect them, whatever it is, but you just know that they're not in the right position, they're not at the firm, they can't handle the expectations that you have on them, and you have to come to a realization that they're just meant not to be at the firm, which is hard. You keep somebody around, you really like them, and maybe they're not doing the things that they need to be doing. Years ago, I had an HR director when I was at Smith Barney, and for those of you that are listening to Smith Barney, you'll know her, Mary Beth Robinson. She was awesome, and one of the things that she told me was no good deed goes unpunished. And when I've learned some of the mistakes that I've made over the years is holding on to people too long, and because I just want to try to do the right thing and try to help them, but it ends up biting me in the ass, or biting someone in the butt, because ultimately they're not going to change, and ultimately the problems that you're having with them are just going to compound as the business gets busier and you continue to grow. And so what I've learned is trust your gut. When you know that someone is sort of out of their element, where you know that someone in your organization is just not meant to be there anymore, you have to put a plan in place to move on. And I know it's sort of a crappy thing to say, and I hate getting rid of people more than anything. And unfortunately, so I hold on to people way too long, which ends up costing the organization money, and not only money, but the non-sort of monetary things like stress and anxiety, conversations, multiple conversations where then you're getting worn out, your energy level's getting drained, and then you're not available for your team to do the things that are important, working with clients, helping those clients. because you've dealt with issues that are taking up your day or your weekends or whatever. So for me, the lessons that I was talking to a client of ours today and about this topic, and he had made mention that, they had something similar happen and they finally got rid of this person, and the dynamic in the office changed instantly to the better. The energy level changed instantly to the better. And although it was a hard decision to make, it was the right decision because the employee wasn't happy. The employee that left wasn't happy. The employees that were at the firm weren't happy because it was the drama that was being created. And asking this person to leave really alleviated some of that drama. That's the energy level that you need to take your business to another level. So for me, this is a short little stint here, but it's really important as you're thinking about building your organization, making sure that the people around you are rowing in the same direction, making sure that the people around you understand your goals and your vision, the work ethic, your core values, holding them accountable to those core values, but also understanding that you're the boss, right? And that it's your organization and you want to get it to a certain level, and you have to make sometimes tough decisions on whether someone is there for the right reasons and going to be able to help you take your business to the next level. And just listen to your gut. I had a situation recently where we brought somebody on board, and in a very short period of time, I identified that this person just wasn't a fit, right? Everybody's great in an interview. And everybody, many people interview great. They say the right things and they look the part, they say the right things. But when they get in, they're there, in the first week, they're trying to tell you as the founder of your company, what you should be doing and what you're doing wrong and how it should be done differently. And being disruptive already, people in the office, I learned my lesson as I was licking my wounds, and it decided, I'm not going to repeat this mistake again. And I just simply asked that employee to leave, and it was the right decision. Their actions after they left told me that it was the right decision. And then afterwards, a couple people came up to me and said, by the way, that was the right decision. They didn't want to tell me that before, but I made that decision because there's no point in having somebody at our company or at any company that is not happy there. So it's not going to change, and it's not going to get any better. So just pull the ripcord early on and let them move on with their career, and then you can move on with your business. But again, as a leader, it's your responsibility to protect your organization, both financially and culturally, and you have a responsibility to your employees to protect culture for them. And if somebody's coming in being disruptive, it's not fair to them either. So yes, you have an obligation to every single employee and try to create an environment where they can thrive. But when you identify a situation where it's just not going to work, then you have an obligation to everybody else to remove that situation, remove that person, and move on. So that's a quick one, short, sort of a hot mic behind the wheel, but it's something that's been going on. And I'm going to be talking about that today with this next client that I'm going to meet with, because they have a little bit larger organization. And so obviously the more people you have in your organization, the more these dynamics become important, and make sure you know what you're doing. So with that said, I hope you don't come into those situations too often. Listen to your gut, hire the right people, make sure that you hire against core values. If you don't have core values, you need to put together core values, but hire against those core values and fire against those core values. It gives you sort of a guideline and a barometer on how to judge people. So I wish you the best. Good luck. If you have any questions, you want to call me, or you have something, DM me at franklarosa.elite on my Instagram account, or you can shoot me an email at frank@eliteconsultingpartners.com. Thanks a lot and good luck.
Thanks for listening to Advisor Talk with Frank LaRosa. If you're looking for more advice or solutions on any topics in the financial services industry, or you just want to subscribe to our podcast, head on over to eliteconsultingpartners.com/podcasts.